Happy Sunday, and more importantly, happy Mother's Day from the main event. I am Beloved with the Pooh Bear, the Chief. Tonight, we have the stock medic back. Lots of baseball, rockets falling from the sky, expensive mistakes, and maybe a new segment. You can't fix stupid. This is the show your mom wants you to watch. This is the main event. I'm waiting.
No, you just wait.
I'm still here waiting. All right. So anyways, happy Mother's Day from.
Is that the main event phone ringing? I think it is the main event phone ringing. Hold on a second. It's Matty Ho. Matty Ho.
Hey man. Hey, listen. I wanted to give you a quick call just because I wanted to say congratulations on your 1-year anniversary.
Yes, it is our 1-year anniversary. Cake Day.
Cake Day.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Champion of Cake Day.
There it is. Champion.
Tell those other guys to suck it.
Their cake was dry and it burned when it went down.
Oh,
those were the comments that were made.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness gracious!
I'll tell you that for a fact.
If you're not
on your 1-year anniversary, man, still reigning champion.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Matty Ho.
Have a good show, guys.
See ya.
Wow.
all right, this is all in reference into a video we put out a year ago today, the Mother's Day Cake Bake Challenge, where the two guys on the top teamed up along with the Chief and Matty Ho, who was just on the phone, to battle it out in a cake baking championship. Excellent viewing.
Wow.
Go watch it after you watch it.
I was gonna say, if you haven't watched it, go check that out. So, Chief, thanks for rubbing salt in the wounds. 4th of July is not too far around.
Now bring it, man. Bring it.
While we're talking about victories, as the host of the annual Kentucky Derby party, you and Pooh Bear need to surrender your winnings back to the house. Back to the house.
I'm gonna have to see the official. Look, right now, Bandafor. It's all allegations. I think right now, right? He's still under. They're gonna investigate this thing.
I mean, he definitely failed a drug test.
Okay, but we don't actually know who gave the horse, and he's not talking. But we don't know who gave the horse. It's bethomethasone, which is a corticosteroid. It can be given by injection. It can be given by a lotion. I feel that they're being set up, is what I think is happening here.
Wow.
Okay, so you think the conspiracy is somebody drugged that horse, not Bob Baffert.
Oh no, not.
Who, by the way, is currently suspended in the state of Kentucky.
Well, I think you have to
for
do
this
that,
instance,
yeah.
or
For this
else?
instance.
Yeah,
for this
really?
instance. By the way, apparently he has a history of this instance.
Of this
27 something like 27 horses in the last, I don't know the years. I'm going to get it wrong. Let's call it 10. It might be 4.
What I want to know is, and I haven't read the story, so I forgive my ignorance, but like in professional athletes, humans, when they're allowed, when they go through banned substances, they're allowed so many of whatever the banned substance is in their body, right? Let's say it's creatine, right? So you're allowed, I don't know what the metric is, but let's say it's 5 parts per million, right? To use something I'm familiar with. So you're allowed 5 parts per million. If you hit 6 parts per million, you pop the test, you fail, right? So I'm wondering if it's a case like that where he's already taken this supplement or this muscle relaxer or whatever it is, and maybe they just gave him too much. It's an allowed substance, but it's not.
Or the horse didn't metabolize it in the time frame that it normally metabolizes it.
So
Right,
Baffleport he has said, I guess the horse is kept in California, and he's pounding, the rock here, saying that he has never given this horse bethomethasone. He says it hasn't happened, and if we did give it to him, it would have to be written down. And I was like, I don't know, man. If you're giving him something he's not allowed to have, you don't write it down. That's the whole idea.
You're not going to record it, right?
So I don't think that's
Ask Barry Bonds. Ask Barry Bonds if you write it down.
Right, the cream or the clear.
I didn't know I was getting an injection.
Or what's the other? Alex Rodriguez.
Alex
A-Rod.
Rodriguez.
Ask A-Rod. Ask A-Rod if you write it down.
Alex is the one that claimed he didn't know what it was.
Listen, only Mark McGuire
is
man enough to put androstenedione in his locker.
Well, again, it was a legal substance, just not in the levels he was taking it. So that's the difference there.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Yeah.
But,
so if the horse,
it's going to make the next race interesting. We got the
Preakness is coming up Saturday. Yeah,
there you go. So
the Preakness is on Saturday. Right now, obviously, that horse intends to run in it, and I don't know if the second sample comes back positive, which I would assume would DQ that horse from the Kentucky Derby. Is that horse also DQ'd from the Preakness? I don't know what happens from there, but if he's DQ'd, what you guys each owe me? What, about $20?
I have 27 of your dollars, and you're not getting them back. I bet on a horse that was going to win, and he won. That's it. We didn't have any of these prerequisite rules. Oh, he's only going to win if he has less than this certain amount of cortisone.
Guys, I think my speakers are going out. I can't hear the last couple of things that Brian said. I'm not sure what that was about.
Maybe you need some of that muscle inflammatory stuff.
Maybe your ears
I definitely need some of that.
All right. Well, we'll see what shakes out in the next couple of days. But hey, listen, we got a guest tonight back to us on the second time on the show. We had him a couple of weeks ago, and we got some bones to pick with Courtney, the stock medic. So Pooh Bear, why don't you run that bumper and we'll bring him in and we'll beat him up a little bit.
Boom.
There he is.
All right, welcome back in the Courtney. House. Welcome.
Once again, it's nice to be invited back. That says a lot.
Nah, hey, listen, I thought this segment we had with you a couple of weeks ago was great, and some things have transpired in the last couple of weeks, and so like one of those, and I know this is kind of the topic of what we're going to focus our conversation with you today is. So I personally did something I said I would never, ever do literally the morning after we had you on the show on a Sunday. And that is I went out and bought cryptocurrency.
Good
and then I immediately regretted it. And now I'm pretty happy about it.
And that's called the crypto syndrome. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
There's a name for it. All right. I've got it bad, whatever it is. Is there a doctor or some sort of
which one did you
cure?
So I bought into two, and they were two that you had mentioned on the show because I know absolutely nothing about crypto, and I'll be honest, my personal feelings, and you'll probably give us your influence on it. I believe it's a house of cards. It's like playing with Monopoly money, fake money, right? And so I bought into some Ethereum Classic, which is performing very, very well right now. After, I think the first 10 days I had it, I think I was losing money. And I bought into Bitcoin, which is the one, of course, that everybody knows about. And it's only doing okay since I bought into it, but both of them are currently up. I'm not in the negative anymore on either one of those.
Nice. Very good.
Courtney, tell me, okay, so last night Elon Musk is on Saturday Night Live, and I heard all kinds of things about. Am I saying the right? Doge.
Doge.
Okay, I mean, fake money, fake words. You just say whatever you want, I guess. So, okay, so people had been talking that if Elon Musk mentions Doge in his opening monologue, it was going to skyrocket. Things were going to go crazy with it. Things did go crazy, but they went crazy wrong. What is going on there? This thing drops like 40%, and then I'm hearing timestamps on this thing are based on Saturday Night Live skits. They're like, by the time they got to the news, the weekend update. It was, only down 20%. It was climbing back. I mean, what is going on here? Why does it drop after everybody says it's going to go up, and why does it drop so much?
Well, so there's two things, right? It's you buy the rumor and you sell the news. That's standard if you're trading, swing trading. So I had already told everybody that was in my immediate circle that I'll be selling just as the show started. So if you had listened to me and sold as the show started, you would have banked. So that's how that works. The folks in this Discord, the first folks on my Patreon got that, and they did very well. But on top of that, Doge to the moon, right? Well, if you bought it at 2 cents and you sold it at 63 cents, you did get to the moon. I mean, quite honestly, right?
Right.
It is the moon. Doge originally was like a fake coin back in the days, and it was a meme, it was a joke. It's actually dodgy coin. Like that thing is dodgy. Watch out for it. It's fake. But of recent, some big names like Elon has got behind the coin, and lots of celebrities. And so, and here's the big problem. The younger Americans, the new investors, young investors are quite afraid of the stock market. It is scary. Okay. You can buy the best stock with 30% year-over-year growth. They're flushed with cash. Their business is growing, and you buy that thing, and tomorrow morning it's down 20%. And then you go buy another one, same thing. You do the balance sheet, you look at the rating, great rating, AAA rating by IBD, and the next day it's down 30%. So the younger generation, they're saying the stock market is rigged. They're saying the system is being plotted against them. So cryptocurrency is their thing. It's this generation's thing. So that's one part of it. They're going to keep buying Doge. And because they're going to keep buying Doge, you're going to find that more businesses are going to start to take it. Elon's already said the SpaceX crew, they're going to take Doge. And what if Amazon starts taking Doge? What does that do for it? So there's value there, and there's actual use value among certain people that's been using Doge on transactional basis. So it's not just an empty coin. My problem is there's a lot of it, and they really need to shrink the float and get us maybe under 100 million, and then we can really see this thing move.
So, Courtney, when you say that, are you saying there's too much specific coin in Doge, or there's too many different types of cryptocurrency? Because I'll be honest with you, until you were on the show 2 weeks ago, I thought the only crypto was Bitcoin.
Correct.
That was the only one you could buy.
Right.
So,
the float of any stock, right, is how many shares are available. And Doge has like billions and billions of shares available. I think they need to shrink the float a little bit, maybe cut that in half. And then, increase the usage of it. And I think they will. I don't know about the float, but I think the usage of it will increase. But it's bigger than Doge, and it's really bigger than Bitcoin. It's about the blockchain. Think of Bitcoin as, the famous kid on the block, right? He made it out of the neighborhood. Everybody knows him. But it's the neighborhood that raised him that made him what he is. So in this case, Bitcoin is just one app that sits on the blockchain, that operates on the blockchain. And we really need to focus on the blockchain, you know. So that's why your Ethereum purchase is a really good one, and you should hold that and add to it. Don't get rid of your Ethereum, because Ethereum is actually a programmable store of value. So you and I can make a bet, you know, the sun's going to set at 8:15. You'll say the sun's going to set at 8:14. We can program that into the Ethereum blockchain, put the reward in, how much we're going to pay each other, and then the Ethereum blockchain will monitor the setting of the sun, monitor our wagers, and then pay the one that wins when at the end of it. The Ethereum blockchain is extremely smart. So, and there's so many other usage for the blockchain. And I'll give you a couple examples. Forbes goes to work. Walmart, Amazon, JP Morgan, Cargill, Enterprise Card, T2W, Deutsche Bank, HSB Bank, IBM. They're all using blockchain. They're all testing blockchain. They're all getting blockchain desk. Okay. So you're not going to escape the blockchain. The blockchain is going to take over everything. It's faster, cheaper, more secure.
So let me ask you this, okay? Because I know you said that the younger generation doesn't trust the stock market, and now you said that Ethereum is a programmable blockchain. So anything that's programmable, I think, can be corrupted. And then we see last night when Doge is crashing, it's not the only thing that crashed, because Robinhood crashed as well, which is where a lot of people are buying and selling Doge.
Correct.
And so, you know, I mean, how does that add confidence to the, you know, to the marketplace when all of a sudden it just crashes, you know, at that time? It seems to me, you know, that's a pretty convenient crash.
I say that's when it's blowing up on you and you need to get out and you can't get out. That's a bad day.
Right.
Yeah.
So those are all correct things, right? You got to remember that, you know, Robinhood and Voyager and even Coinbase and some of these other apps, they're still new, they're still young, right? And they did not anticipate the growth so fast, you know, and these companies are scalable, but they're really attempting to keep up with the demand. So, yeah, you can build a really strong gate, but if too many people are rushing at this gate at the same time, just so much will get out, you know, at any particular time. And that's what's going on. You really shouldn't wait. Like I told you at the beginning, I sold before because I anticipated just that problem, you know. So these guys are going to scale up. They're going to get better. Robinhood, Coinbase, they're going to get better. They're hiring, you know, just like crazy. You know, I spoke to a person that's affiliated with the Voyager blockchain, and, you know, same thing like Coinbase or Robinhood. And these guys can't hire enough. They can't hire fast enough. You know, you can't get a person on the phone at one of these places. That's how fast the demand is. That's how unseen the growth that these guys are having. And it's tremendous growth.
It's crazy.
Wow. So go ahead.
So Chief, if I got a question. So like I told you kind of when we brought you in, like I said I would never buy crypto, and I did. And I want to give you like one of my reasons. I got a couple, but my first reason is that, you know, when I go to, I listened to your show that you did on the Stock Medic channel. I think it was your most recent one where you guys were talking about crypto.
Yes.
And you were talking about how, you know, it's a tradable asset, right? Just like a dollar. But where my thinking is like I go to the bank, I put $1 in the bank. When I need to get that dollar out, it's still $1. But with crypto, if I put $1 in, when I need to take it out, it might only be 85 cents. The value of it doesn't hold like the dollar does.
Courtney, before you answer that, let me just kind of have my answer. My question is very similar to B-Love's question in that I don't understand it. So when you said, you know, the SpaceX is going to take it, my mind went immediately to astronauts on the space station trying to go to a vending machine and using their Dogecoin, you know, trying to get some tang out of this thing. And I'm like, I mean, you guys understand that's how lost I am with this stuff, so put it in chief terms. You got to make it simple, man. Help me out. Help me understand, like you're saying, where's your Doge go? I mean, I got one Doge and, I don't need to spend the whole thing. Can I break it up? I don't know.
So, yes, you can break it up. But again, we have to look at the big picture, right? Financial, because of COVID, and probably before that, but I think COVID accelerated, or the pandemic, accelerated the growth, right? And what I mean by that is, global sovereign countries, nations started to print a lot of money because, the jobs were being lost, the businesses went away, their citizens, didn't have enough food, water, whatever. So they had to then back up their citizens by printing a lot of fiat currency. And that's not just the US, that's globally. So, and then, in countries like, say, Turkey and Syria, they've had that war going on forever. So their currency was just being devalued and devalued and devalued. So what you have is a global devaluation of currencies. So you put your dollar in the bank, you may not get it back at $1, maybe 97 cents when you actually spend it. But if you're in other countries and you put $1 in the bank, it may be 10 cents when you go back to it. So we got to look at this thing with a global eye, with a global mindset, not just, us here in the Western world, we're okay. But if you think about this globally, if you're a businessman, you're smart enough to know that there's no jobs. You're smart enough to know that you should go out and fend for yourself. So, you start a business and you're selling coconuts in Guatemala or Venezuela, wherever you're at. And, you get the tourists to pay with the Square app, right? At the end of the business day, you're not going to put your money in that country's currency. You're going to leave it in the Square app. And you may even go one further, and you may even buy Bitcoins with it at the end of the day, because currencies globally are just being devalued at a record rate. And it's only going to get worse, fellas. It's not going to get better.
So crypto could end up being the one world currency that we read about in the Bible.
Well, that may be true, right? Because it's global, and it can, anybody anywhere can then buy a bit of it. And it's all about computer language, bit, ash, torrent, by Satoshi. He started the whole Bitcoin thing. But it's really a revolution. And those who, here's the thing, right? The large institutions, banks, investment brokerage houses, they tell you, be afraid of cryptocurrency. It's volatile. Stay away from it. At the same time, in 2018, the World Bank launched their own cryptocurrency desk. At the same time, they were telling you to stay away from it. They're buying these things very, very cheap. JP Morgan, they were buying these things very, very cheap. While at the same time, you can see them on TV in the same vein telling you, stay away from it. It's volatile. All right. So you have to watch that, because now these guys have accumulated a lot of it. Now they can push the markets around, and that's what they want, And as far as saying the government's shutting it down, you got to realize when the Office of Currency Control, which are the federal government, December 18 gave the banks the okay to buy cryptocurrencies to offer to their clients. Okay, this has already been done. They're not going to pull that back. They can't pull that back.
So I see, I really don't see sovereign countries giving up the ability to regulate their own economies by giving their currency away to the world. I just don't see that happening. I do see, the Bitcoin, these things being traded as a commodity, though. And I can understand that, they're saying, yeah, okay, if you want a commodity like corn or coffee, something like that, it's you buy it and sell it just like anything else. So I don't know. I mean, I understand what you're saying about the countries that are there where their currency is being devalued or inflation is just killing them on a, you have less money before lunch than you had after lunch. I get all that.
Right.
But solid countries, first world countries, I just don't see them giving away, their right. The politicians, if you have that authority, if you have that power, you just don't give that up.
Well, I mean, the federal government uses monetary policy to affect things like inflation and interest rates and
jobs,
I understand
jobs.
Chief, I understand where you're coming from.
So they don't have to give it up. Like you said, it's a commodity, right? It's something else that traders and those who are willing can trade. Currency trading has been going on for a long time. So you just add cryptocurrency to your basket of currencies that you already trade. And it's really, as far as cryptocurrency goes, it's really that simple. You're really just trading currency, and the value is pegged by the demand of that currency.
Yes.
But again, go ahead.
I was gonna say that's kind of where my next question is like, how do you analyze and speculate on crypto? Like I can, as a stock, as an example, I can take a look at the company's earnings. I can take a look at what they have in R&D, what their business plan looks like, et cetera, et cetera. And I can make some sort of judgment on this is a good or a bad investment. With crypto, it feels like, I just like the name of that one, or they got a cool color or a cool logo or whatever. And like, it's like my wife deciding who's going to win what football game. They got better jerseys. Right. That's the way like deciding on crypto feels like. I don't even know where to start.
Okay, so for a lot of people, it really is that simple, right? I like the D, right? But think about it. Think about the internet when it first started, right? And you had all these companies on the internet, Netscape and all these other companies trying to do business. And a lot of them eventually did fail. But a lot of them, the Amazons of the world, the Wayfairs of the world, the Shopifys, and we can go on and on and on, did succeed on the internet. So you're going to see the same thing. Think about these, what you call cryptocurrencies, as companies that operate on the blockchain. Now, the blockchain is going to change the internet. It's going to make it faster, more secure. So the blockchain will be interwoven with the internet. And these new companies will be operating on the blockchain, helping traditional companies migrate to the blockchain. Okay, so these small companies, some of them are going to be giants like Bitcoin, but there are going to be other companies that are going to come around and blow Bitcoin out of the water like Amazon did to AOL. It's going to happen. So just think about it, that the blockchain is what you want to focus on. And then the companies that are being built on the blockchain now, you want to look at what do they do, right? What does this company do that's going to make things better, faster, easier, fix a problem? And then those are the companies you want to look at. And you also want to look at the float. How many coins do they have out? Is it 100 billion coins? Or is it 100 million coins? But if that company does something, perform a service that's going to help change things, make things better, make things faster, more secure, and the float is low, that's the one you want to go with.
Courtney, give us some hot tips, man. Give me something. You know what I mean? I heard what you're saying.
What am I buying tomorrow morning when the market opens?
What are we buying tomorrow?
Well,
first of all, look.
Hold on. Let me get my pen out real quick.
So I went ahead after your last show and I downloaded the Stash app. Okay, and I put a little money on Stash, and it's actually excuse me, dear God, I almost died there. Okay, so it's pretty fun to work on that. Okay, so but you can't do crypto on Stash, can you?
No, you cannot. And I think that's an oversight on their part.
Yeah. So where am I going? Because apparently Robinhood is going to lock me out whenever things get weird. So what are we talking about? Who would you use if you were going to buy crypto?
I would use Coinbase. Coinbase. Coinbase is one of the largest crypto exchange out there. They're going to go public. In fact, they just did go public.
2 weeks ago, they had their IPO.
Oh,
Right.
we missed it.
Yeah, well, there was no money there to be made. They took all the value out of it at the IPO.
Okay.
But Coinbase is where you want to start with, right? They have Bitcoin Cash. You want to own Bitcoin Cash. They have Ethereum. You definitely want to own Ethereum long term.
Ethereum or Ethereum Classic?
Well, own them both, but I think Ethereum Classic is going to pull back a bit. We were buying it at $8. It hit 175 last week, so you got to give some time for it to pull back.
Okay.
But buy a little Ethereum Classic and wait for the pullback. But definitely, what you want to do is start buying Ethereum. Ethereum is the big dog here.
Ethereum's the big dog.
You want to buy Bitcoin Cash. You want to buy Litecoin, and then some other ones that a lot of people don't talk about is Quantum, QTUM. Quantum is really a good one as well, and also XRP. XRP, you can't get it on Coinbase. I'll give you the links to another exchange where you can buy that.
I just spent like $1,000 in 30 seconds. This is getting expensive, Courtney.
And that's probably why you need to focus.
I'm gonna need y'all's winnings back for your disqualified horse.
Nice, very Dogecoin. And that's why you need to focus on some that you like and some that are helping you and performing well for you, and not get all kind of mired into, oh wow, the guy down the hall. Because this is what's happening at my work right now, is that we've got a long hallway full of offices and people in there, and you can hear almost every conversation just about. And you hear the guy down at the end talking about, oh, I just bought some Litecoin, and then the guy across from me is like, he's getting Litecoin. You getting Litecoin? And so we're just kind of bouncing back and forth off of rumors and conjecture, and that's fine. That's what he's liking. He makes plenty of money on that. I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm making plenty of money on mine. And that's just kind of how you need to see it. Instead of trying to be all over the place and capture them all, I don't think you can do that.
Exactly. Yeah. And if you just keep it simple and just focus on Ethereum, you'll be okay. When Ethereum was trading at 1,200, I told folks it'll be at 2,000. And when it got to 2,000, I said it's going to go to 3. And I'm telling you here that one day you'll wake up and you'll see a print of 5,000 on Ethereum. It won't be long.
Wow.
Okay. So if you just start dollar cost averaging in Ethereum here every day, when do we have a motto around here, when do you buy crypto, or specifically Bitcoin and Ethereum? And there's some specific times when you want to do this, and I'll explain. It's real complicated. I'll try to explain it. So you want to buy crypto before you go to bed. You want to buy Ethereum and Bitcoin when you wake up. You want to buy them when you make your coffee. You want to buy them you want to buy them before dinner.
It's starting to sound like all the time, Courtney.
Man, I thought this was going to be some sort of hot tip.
No, but listen, I do know people that wake up at 3 a.m. to check their cryptos because of the international markets and how they fluctuate. And if you look at your trends when you wake up and you look back to 3 a.m. and you're like, oh my goodness, there was a spike and I missed it.
That's right.
There's so much to it.
And that's the thing, right? Because it trades 24 hours, 7 days. I'm trading right now as we're talking. 24 hours, 7 days a week. So you literally can dollar cost average into this thing every single day. $20 today, $20 tomorrow, $20 the day after, $20 the day after that. Just build a portfolio, build a position, and get your position larger and larger and larger. Ethereum's going higher, and if it's just one hot tip, buy Ethereum.
ETH.
Yes, buy ETH. Definitely.
Well, thank you,
So
Courtney.
how about the big dog Bitcoin? That's the most expensive one out there. Is that like the run up on that is kind of over?
So no, but Bitcoin does one thing, right? It stores value and you do transactions with it. So it's got a couple of tricks, and it's the most famous guy on the block. Mm-hmm. But Ethereum's got lots of tricks. Okay, and not only that, Ethereum it's programmable and it can do what Bitcoin does, but you have all these other companies that are being built on the Ethereum blockchain, on the Ethereum platform. And I'll give you a perfect example of this. My wife and I, she's a crypto coin, genius, and we're trying to buy this other coin, Shiba Inu here. And we had to buy Ethereum in order to go get that coin. So you're having a lot of this where to get to where you want to be, you need to get Ethereum. So Ethereum volume's just going up, and there's a charge for every time you do these things. And the more people are doing these things, the higher the charges are. So Ethereum is just making money, hand over fist. So buy Ethereum, keep buying Ethereum, buy it every day.
Excellent advice.
All right.
Chief, you got your crypto wallet ready?
Yeah, right here. It's my imaginary wallet.
Have you converted USD to wax yet?
Hey.
I got him, Courtney. I got him.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Oh, it's been great. Hey, listen, everyone watching, you can catch Courtney on the Stock Medics YouTube channel. We'll leave a link in the description after this post on sometime overnight, Monday morning. And we'll put out another video on how to buy cryptos this week. There's some special cryptos that folks are trying to buy, and we're going to help them get to it. Thank you guys for having me. Have a wonderful day. Thanks, Courtney.
Yeah, thanks, Courtney.
All right.
Hey, so I have so when he's talking about, the Ethereum is going to be mixed in with the internet, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking Matrix 4 here. I can see you're going to get Keanu Reeves out, and he's going to be out just buying stuff left and right.
Wow.
He's going to be, back.
Wow.
Well, that's how the blockchain is an amazing technology, right?
I have no idea what he's talking about.
It is really incredible, cryptic kind of logic. And, you've heard of the NFTs. I think we've talked about this before a little bit. That's how they're built on. And the reason it's so fantastic is, let's say you digitally create an NFT, right? A non-fungible token. You were the creator. You want to sell it for $10, right?
Yeah.
Well, something happens, and after you sold it for $10, all of a sudden its value now is $20. Somebody wants to buy it for $20. And then it trades hands again, right? So now imagine a painting as it's trading hands, and each time it sells, there's an increase in value. The sale price goes up. And before long, it's worth $100, $1,000, whatever. Well, blockchain allows you as the creator to put something into that sale, the initial creation, that says, anytime this changes hands, I get 10% as the creator. Yes, that's why this is an amazing technology, because it allows for things like that. And it cannot be, well, at least until that's all, broken down. But at this point, the technology to break down a blockchain does not exist.
What if we did this? What if we created Bitcoin Classic, BYT, CO? I think we would get some people on the hook on that.
That's, bro, no kidding. That's how Dogecoin was invented, how it came about. Two people that were like, you can't make your own cryptocurrency. It's crazy. Oh, I bet you can.
Let's call it TME. Let's just call it TME coin, the man event.
And that's why the two guys that created Dogecoin until today will still tell you, do not invest in this. It is a fake. It is a joke. It is something we created overnight. It is not valuable. There has no inherent value. Yet look where it is now, almost 75 cents yesterday. Going back down.
Crazy. All right, so switching gears here a little bit. We had, or at least maybe I had some critical words to say about the Tampa Bay Rays last Sunday here on the show. And here's what I've determined. We're a better team on the road.
We're definitely better. Hey, since August 10th of last year, our win percentage on the road is 70%.
Yep.
Best in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, I say we just stay out there. We should become the Dunedin Blue Jays.
Yes.
Well, we play 100% of our games away from home.
Oddly enough, that's what the owner wants to do, right? He wants to move the team to half of their games are going to be played in Montreal.
Yeah. It was, I tell you what, we play the Athletics tough. It was great. We win the last game against, we win the last game against Houston before hitting the road. We beat the Angels 4 straight games for a 5-game win streak. And then we run into the Athletics, who played us tough here at home. A lot of run-one games. We almost get no hit the other night. But some things on the horizon. It looks like G-Man Choi will be coming back this week as soon as Kiermaier leaves. G-Man Choi is back
this week as well. His sad news: his mother passed, and so he's dealing with that. But he should be back, but probably this week as well.
But a week later, here we sit, just 3.5 games back. That's not a bad position to be in going into the summer.
You can kind of tell how this is at this point right now. Even as a fan, I would. This is a 500 team. They're not playing well enough to be a 75% win, playoff contention team. The Red Sox are eating their lunch right now. So they're going to have to fix some things. They need some more hitting. I hate to say it might come from the minor leagues, but it might with Xander Brujan or Xavier Brujan, or no. I can't remember his first name. I think it's Xander Brujan and Wander Franco. They're just crushing. I mean, the minor league season's a week old, and they're already leading leagues in home runs. So it's crazy. So they might be the spark this team needs. I don't know. Maybe it's going to be the G-Man Choi. That's kind of my hope. Keep the status quo. So we'll see. But
the last 15. It is
an up and down team.
Yeah, the last 15 games, the bullpen and the starting pitcher, so combined, have an ERA of under 3. It's like 2.87, something like that. I forget.
I mean, you should be winning.
You should be winning every one of those games. So
if you're holding these teams to that,
it's the bats that are failing us. And
how about the Rays? How about the Rays retiring Albert Pujols?
Yeah,
he didn't want to go, but the Rays come to town.
Here's the crazy thing about that. I mean, this guy is a future Hall of Famer, right? He's won the league MVP, and he just straight up gets DFA'd. No retirement party, no big send off.
Apparently, they've been asking him for weeks to sit down, maybe accept the trade, accept some sort of minor league assignment to kind of work some things out, and he's just been adamant. No, if you don't, I start or DFA me. So apparently that's what they did. Okay.
Yeah. Well, listen, Joe Madden is the skipper of that club. He sure held on to Pat Burrell a whole lot longer than he did Albert Pujols. I don't know. He gave Pat Burrell more respect than he did Albert Pujols. And then obviously we saw Pat Burrell go to San Francisco and play really, really well in his final couple of seasons. But, I believe Albert becomes any team can sign him, I believe, starting tomorrow. Right? Is it tomorrow,
Yes, but you have to take on his salary, which a lot of teams aren't going to be willing to do. So,
at this point, it's the last year of
milestones. He is close to some milestones, some hit numbers, some home run numbers. He's almost in the top 5 in home runs. So I think he really wants to get on a team where he's going to be able to hit those milestones and call it a career.
Do the Rays take a chance on this guy's bat?
No.
Oh, we can't afford. We cannot afford him.
No.
Nobody on this team makes what he makes. And we're going to bring it. What is he batting now? He's like 175, something like that right now?
I think it was like 180.
Which is kind of par for the course for a lot of Rays players anyway.
Sure. I mean, welcome to the club, man. But he needs something like 33 home runs to make it into the top 5. Yeah. And even if he were to play the full season, he's not going to get that. He's not going to get it.
So he was the oldest active player in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
And, the way things were shaken up, they were at a point where they weren't going to be able to get him at bats. I think was like the story what you were talking about there, Pooh.
Yeah, they've got some young guns.
Because they've got Ohtani, who, by the way, was my bold prediction for American League MVP, and he's well on his way to making me look really smart. But when that guy's not pitching, he's the DH, which puts Albert out of the DH role because they've got some other young stud playing first base right now, and so he was the oldest active player in major leagues. And I think that the Angels were kind of looking to do to him what the Yankees did to A-Rod a couple of years ago. We're like, hey, we're going to ask you to hang him up mid-season, but we're going to make a big deal about it. And, A-Rod was willing to go quietly in the night and get on TV where he is horrible.
Right. So he might sign on with somebody like the Pirates or somebody that's maybe the Rockies. Actually, that'd be a good spot for him as the Rockies. He might get some hits there. But just kind of to sunset his career, just make it through this one, get to that. I think he's approaching 6,000 hits was the other milestone. Hit those
6,000?
I think so.
Hey, guess who the new oldest player is in Major League Baseball? I'll give you a hint. He's on Tampa's roster.
Oh.
He's the new oldest player in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, if Pujols is out, he's no longer on an active roster.
Is it Phillips?
Nope. Rich Hill.
Oh.
Rich Hill, guys. So, in the Navy, they call the oldest active Navy SEAL the bullfrog.
Oh.
Okay. And he's the bullfrog, and I feel like this is our chance to tag the oldest active Major League Baseball player. I mean, we could call him. We don't want to call him. I don't know. We can brainstorm this, but I mean,
listen, this guy's not going to be playing here next week. Didn't they just call him up?
Rich Hill?
Rich Hill?
No. Yes. No.
No, he started the team out of spring training. And just to correct myself, Albert Pujols is nearing 6,000 total bases. Sorry, 6,000 total bases. He's coming up on.
I'm going to say because 6,000 hits, I believe, makes him the hit king.
Yeah, for sure. You're right away.
For sure.
3,200 hits is what he's got. So he's
That's
not
still
really
a lot.
Oh, it's definitely a lot. It's been a fantastic career. Fantastic
Still
career.
a lot. So, kind of closing out the baseball story here real quick. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Is the no-no in baseball not have the same?
Not when you have 4 in 1 week.
Mm.
It seems like all of these guys, and they're all people we don't remember. It it used to be only like Nolan Ryan was like the only guy in the majors who was going to pitch a no-hitter. It was guys like Randy Johnson, Greg Maddux, and now it's outside of Bumgarner, who pitched one in a 7-inning game that doesn't count. None of these guys we've ever heard of,
right?
That are pitching no-nos.
Some of them have been heard of, but it's just it is becoming all too regular of an occurrence. And then you get these, alert. I get frustrated with ESPN and their alerts about, so and so's got no hits through 6 innings, and so now it's 7 innings. Can they break it up? And it goes on and on until somebody finally bunts and breaks it up.
Yeah.
But yeah,
but I feel like Pooh Bear, to your point, I feel like we get those every night though.
I think we do.
Yeah, because somebody's got a no-no going into 6 or 7 every night.
Yeah, so it happens a lot of times at this point in the season because the pitchers are still ahead of the hitters. The hitters haven't gotten their timing down. We're only a month into the season, so you've got some hitters that aren't playing every day. They haven't faced some of these pitchers since last season or the season before. So there is a lot of that happens at this time, but we're getting past that. All the batters should have their timing down at this point. So I don't know if it's just a lack of fundamentals in the hitters, if the pitchers are just doing something to get the ball by. Is it the umpires calling balls and strikes? We've seen some of that, calling back calls. So I don't know what the answer is, but it is becoming all too frequent.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the rest of the season goes. But again, I just think there's a lot of guys out there who are throwing that we've never heard of, and it's not the names that you would expect to be with the big arms. So did you guys, switching gears, did you guys see the news about Dechambeau in the PGA Tour this week?
Is he our idiot of the week or whatever the new segment is?
No, we're going to get to that.
Okay.
That's the worst part. That's the worst part. He's not you can't fix stupid.
No.
I mean, he's just, and then he came back. So
explain what happened.
Okay, so Friday comes and goes, and he believes that he has missed the cut. So he gets on his plane and goes home back to Dallas, Texas. They're playing in North Carolina this week.
Yeah. So in fairness, at the time he was 90th, and you needed to be in the top 70 to make the field. And he played in the morning, so there was plenty of golf still to go, meaning he was probably going to drop further from 90th.
Right.
But the golf course completely changed because of the weather.
Yeah.
Because of the weather. And now, guys, when he lands is when he finds out, hey, you made the cut.
Yeah, you made the cut. And so he's like, well, what do I do now? Because the option is get back on the plane and fly back, but the crew has maxed out on hours. So he's got to spend the night, find a new crew. And so he gets on the plane at 2:45 in the morning, Dallas time, and he barely makes his tee time Saturday morning. And then he shoots something crazy, 8 under, something like that on Saturday. And he not only does he finish in the top 5 today, but he winds up number 1 on the FedEx Points Cup because of his standing today.
His money, his earnings.
Yeah, he made today. I read today before it was over. If he finished in the top 10, which I believe he finished 9th, he would take home $220,000. So all of those private jet flights, they paid for themselves. They paid for themselves.
Dude, this is
$220,000 to finish 9th. This is crazy to me. Wow.
Yeah, by the time you tip out your caddy, tip out your pilot, tip and pay for the fuel, you're done. You made
so
nothing.
Here's the crazy thing. I'm reading this interview that he did on the PGA.com or whatever. He lands in Dallas. They're trying to figure out what to do because, like Chief said, the crew can't just turn the plane around and go back. They've got to do like their mandatory rest. This guy goes home, gets a workout in, goes out to dinner with some friends, goes to bed, wakes up in the morning, flies back to North Carolina. Like it was just a regular day.
He had to get the workout in because he was stressed. I don't care how he wants to package it. That guy's kicking himself. And you know who the real winner is on this? It's that jet company, NextJet or whoever he was using. Because my marketing would be, hey man, you want to make $220,000 today? Take our plane. We'll save you. Or you want to be number 1 in the world from FedEx Point? Here, take our plane. This is what we did for Bryson DeChambeau. We're here for you too.
Yeah, because the deal was on Saturday he was going to have an 8 o'clock tee time. It was like an 8:10 tee time. Yeah. So he got back into Charlotte, I believe, at 6 a.m. to make that 8. So like you get off of he probably didn't barely get a warm out up in, and he went and shot like 4 or 5 under on Saturday.
Hey, let me tell you this golfing story from Saturday. So I played with Javi on Saturday over here at River Hills, dude. So he hits one in what would have been the water, but it's a little dry out there, so he can get it. Okay, so we drive over to it, and he's like, he looks at it, and it's would have been a pond, but it's no longer a pond. So he decides he can take the cart into it. Dude, we go in, the cart flips. Dude, the cart is going over. I'm trying to hold on, and I get thrown out of the cart. Luckily, Javi gives a counterbalance on the other side and saves it. It winds up popping back up, right side up. And
wow. Why don't we have video of this?
Dude, I thought the cart was going to come on top of me. I'm saying, I got to get some man event footage here, man.
Yeah, this is 2021. When there is a crisis or someone's life is in danger, you pull out your video phone.
Not when it's my life that's in danger. I don't pull it out. I was scrambling, dude. Combat roll and everything.
Oh, my goodness.
I have an important question.
Yeah.
Did he take the stroke?
Dude, listen, I'm going to tell you, we both played so bad, we quit counting, man. We were just like,
one of those days.
We just said, forget it, man. It was terrible. And then honestly, the next question is, can we get it out of what used to be a pond? We couldn't drive it up over the lip that we came over. Yeah.
Yeah. So could have been stuck. Yeah. All right. So listen, here's one of the things I don't get. And Pooh, we're coming up on your new favorite segment, which is You Can't Fix Stupid. We'll get to that in a second. We'll end on that. Okay. But here's the thing. We can track Santa Claus, but we can't track Chinese rockets falling from the space.
Dude,
what is going on here?
Are you sure this isn't the segment? Because this sounds like the segment.
It's going to get better, Pooh Bear, I promise.
The Chinese are that guy in front of you at the light who, they open up their door and they drop their trash on the ground real quietly, and then they close the door. They're just littering stuff. That's what the Chinese are. They just blast this rocket into space, and they're like, wherever it lands, be all right.
Should be okay.
Dude, what's crazy is this could have been a bad story. That rocket ends up falling into the Indian Ocean. Missing the Maldives. But up until it makes reentry, nobody knew where it was going to make reentry at.
No.
And here's the thing. They got 10 more of those rockets that they're sending up because they're building a Chinese space station.
Did this one? I think it malfunctioned, right? It was supposed to have some sort of
I don't
control.
think so.
No, this is just how they do it. They just
somehow it goes into a low Earth orbit until it falls.
Right. So when the United States or India or any of those other
any other country in the world that has a space program.
Yes. When the rocket goes up, the fuselage, the piece that came down here, it never leaves orbit. It separates from the rocket and falls where it should, right? So they launch them over the ocean, so it falls into the ocean. Unless there's a fishing boat there or a submarine underwater, it's not going to do anything. It's pre-planned. But yeah, these yahoos, they're just launching it. They're like, like Level said, it's up there. It goes into orbit. Maybe it'll burn up. Maybe it won't. Maybe it'll land over India. We don't care. We're good.
Dude, this adds a lot of credibility to that Sandra Bullock movie, Gravity.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what started the movie. You know, it was some sort of Chinese junk, I think, just floating around, hit the space station.
Oh,
Next thing you know, she's on her way down. That's crazy. It was a fun movie to watch, actually, man.
I've never seen it. Never seen it.
Until George Clooney, makes his ghost appearance. That got a little weird, but I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah, it was
and entirely believable now, apparently.
Yeah, it's well done. Like, it looks good. I just don't, the story.
So I've been watching this show on Apple TV called For All Mankind. Have you guys heard of this? So it's nowadays everybody has a streaming channel. So Apple has theirs. It's produced by Apple TV, but it's set in the era of the space race when we were against the Soviets, but it's twisted. And the twist is the Soviets were the first people on the moon instead of the US.
Right.
But there's a lot of other changes that happen there, including like instead of JFK being president of the United States, it's his brother.
Robert? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But it's worth a watch. I mean, it's totally fake, right? But it's totally worth a watch if you're into that sort of genre. But they colonize. Well, I shouldn't say they colonize. They put a military station on the moon, and then the Russians do too. So now there's like literally Russian astronauts and U.S. astronauts on the moon at the same time during the Cold War.
Were they buying Nesquik with Dogecoin?
No, it was Tang. It was Tang, but no, yeah. So.
Conjure up one of two visions.
That was pretty funny though. The Tang thing. I love Tang. When was the last time you had Tang?
30 years. It's been, I don't even know if is it still. I don't know. Is it in the grocery store?
I hope you can still get Tang.
I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna put on Tang. I don't know if you can still buy it.
Well, Kool-Aid destroyed it. So I mean, it's kind of similar to what Courtney was talking about. How there's one coin to rule them all, one ring to rule them all, and Tang was just another powdered drink along with Nesquik and Kool-Aid and some of the other off brands.
Man, remember when Gatorade was only in powder form? Like you had to buy the powder and then. That was awesome. I still love the original old school Gatorade flavor.
Yes, in the glass bottle.
That's still my favorite. Yeah. All right. So one of the things we came up with an idea for a new weekly segment of the show, and one of the things that happens amongst the Man Event guys is obviously we have a group text chat, and throughout the week we will send each other like funny stories of something we saw, right? So we shared one today, and it made me think like we need to come up with a new segment every week that's called "You Can't Fix Stupid." Okay, and so we'll highlight the stupidest, story or person or whatever.
It's gonna need its own bumper. It's gonna need its own overlay.
I like where you're thinking. You can't fix stupid. So in this week's "You Can't Fix Stupid" story of the week. This was a couple of weeks ago. I just ran across this article today. These two friends out of Arkansas, they had a couple of adult beverages. They had enough adult beverages that they were like, hey, let's strap on some bulletproof vests and shoot each other.
Wow.
And one of them gets hurt, surprisingly.
No kidding.
Surprise! Did you hear the rest of the story? Did you hear how they got? How this is news? Because the senior of the two, I think he said he was 50 years old. He goes to the emergency room. And they're like, what happened? And he says, I was protecting an asset. Like he's some sort of bodyguard. Like anybody thinks his drunken freaking grandfather is protecting an asset. And he says, I took a bullet for him. And I think I may be hurt. And next thing you know, the cops are involved. And the other guy he got hit how many times?
5 times, and he got shot in the back.
In the back. So at least he was he said, I've had enough of this. I'm not sticking around.
Yeah. So he gets shot 5 times in the back with a 22.
It's a better story just to say we were drunk and shooting each other than to say I was protecting an asset.
So that was one of my first questions was what caliber? So this was 22. I'm assuming long rifle if it was out with a pistol.
Yeah.
Okay. My second question is who won?
Obviously, the guy who went. There's no winner, right? But they both. They both get arrested, right? But so they're both losers.
What is the charge here? I mean,
I'm assuming shooting each other.
Is it attempted murder? I mean, they weren't trying to shoot each other; they were just testing the vest, right?
Well, I guess depending on where they live, and I mean, it's Arkansas. Who knows? But
who knows? Anything can go.
I mean, there are certain rules about discharging weapons in specific boundaries of municipalities. So if it's a city, you've got a boundary. You can't fire a weapon in so many places. If it's a county, it's a little bit better. If you've got an unincorporated portion, it's there probably aren't any rules. So that might have an effect on it. Other than that, I think one person would have to file a report against the other person. Yeah, they'd have to say, hey, I'm going to press charges against the 50-year-old. First of all, how did he get to 50 years old this stupid?
Well, the bulletproof vest works.
Did you forget? I mentioned adult beverages. I did mention adult beverages.
Listen, I'm in the ballpark of 50. Okay, I'm circling the neighborhood. I can see the houses from where I'm sitting. How do you get to that point, even with alcohol? I get it, okay, but I just that's. And how old is the other guy? Do we know?
He was like 10 years younger. Yeah.
If there's a red flag warning, if there's ever really a cause for a red flag warning, it's these two idiots. I mean, you don't go around testing, the vest. By the way, these vests, a lot of people don't understand.
What if
they have expiration dates on them. If the plates crack in them,
they have usage.
A lot of things that could have gone wrong. Yeah,
they have usage. Once it gets hit once, it's taken out of service, not used again.
At least not 5 more times. Man. That's for sure.
No, but I will say with a 22 caliber, the risk of serious death or I don't know, whatever. I'm not gonna say anything.
Serious death. All death is serious, Boomer.
I'm not saying the word. I'm done.
He's like, I'll take one. I'll go. Let's try it. Give it a shot. On next week's episode, we got Pooh Bear. He's like, let's try this thing. Why not?
No, so I can't. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think about the segment? You can't. Fix
I love
stupid.
it. It's going to be some work coming up with this. No, it's not going to be any work to get the stories. They're going to come to us.
I was going to say, I cannot wait to see what we come up with for You Can't. It's going to be a competition among us to see who can come up with the You Can't Fix Stupid story.
Wow. I like it.
Hold my tang. I got one right here.
Or how about this? How about we have people submit some to us for review?
Oh, there you go.
We may use your Can't Fix Stupid story on the show.
Yeah, if we do, we'll send you a Man Event Bitcoin.
Unless we came up with
Man Event Bitcoin, TME Bitcoin.
TME. We'll see a TME Bitcoin. It's worth nothing. So, all right.
All right, are we done?
We're done.
We never got to the lightning, but I think we're out of time.
Yeah, they're coming up on the playoffs this week. They should be seated.
And they should be seated, but we already know who we're playing. We'll be playing the Panthers.
There you go. Who they have been struggling with all season long.
But we should hopefully have Stamkos and Kucherov back for the playoffs.
And
they've stayed on the 19th.
Yeah, should be
all
good.
Right.
So, all right. Thanks, everyone, for watching. This has been a great show. If you are here this long, thank you. You are a loyal fan, a loyal person to stick around for an hour and 4 minutes into the show. Go ahead and click the subscribe button if you haven't already, and like this video, and press the bell as well. That's going to notify you every time we upload a video. You never know when we're going to. We apparently became TikTok famous this week. You didn't even know it. TSG.
I didn't even know we had a TikTok.
I kind of did, but then he posted something out there today this week that got, I don't know, almost 100,000 views or something. It was pretty insane. So check out our TikTok. It's the main event. It's out there. All right, we will see you back here next week at 7 o'clock on Sunday because that's what we do. Say goodnight, Chief.
Good night.